So let's say you just find out that your child's autistic and you're wondering, who should I tell about the diagnosis? There's so many different right answers to this question. So we'll be going over some different stories and examples of what parents decided for their children and why. The answer that's right for you is different for me and is different for my friend, and that's okay. I think it's important to be respectful of other parents' choices for their children because each child needs something different. My child, Ezra, who's my fourth child, was diagnosed with autism at only 21 months old. And when we found out, I had some mixed feelings, and you might too. Understandably, you might be a really private person and be introverted, and you don't really want to tell everyone. You may be protective of your child. You may want to keep things private for a little while. That's completely understandable. Or maybe you want to tell the world. You want to educate everyone because you're proud of your child and you want people to know and shout it from the rooftops that it would normalize it and it wouldn't be such a scary thing. I want to educate people, and I still do, and I still feel that way about me and my family. But I had a conversation just a month ago with an amazing mom who has an autistic daughter. And she said that her daughter wasn't diagnosed until she was out of high school. And I thought, wow, you didn't know she was autistic until then? And then she really surprised me by saying, oh, I knew she was autistic. I was so grateful that this mother shared her story with me because it opened my eyes to a new perspective. Now, if someone would have told me that before, I don't know if I would have believed him. I would have shook my head going, no, getting a diagnosis though and telling people about it is what you need to do, right? Well, in her situation, her daughter was doing well in school, got straight A's, and had confidence and a good group of friends. But after she graduated high school, it was a big change to go to college. And that's when they realized that a diagnosis and telling people about the diagnosis would really help her. It's a really healthy thing to do, just to hear out someone who has a completely different experience than you. And this changed my perspective. I have a friend who, when her child was diagnosed as a toddler, she was really open about it. She put it on Facebook. She said, I'm so proud of him. And as he's grown up, he's become more independent. And she's felt that it's been really appropriate for him to kind of take the reins. He decides whether or not to tell people that he's autistic. It's his autism, not hers. Now, when kids are little though, letting the public school know about the diagnosis can open huge doors for more understanding and more resources that could possibly help your child a lot. For me, I kind of went through stages. So the first stage was people who are close to me who are helpful. Those are the people I told first. So my mom, because she is my best friend, she's good support. And when I got on the phone with her, she's like, you need to call my sister. So I called my aunt who has a son who's autistic. And she helped me a lot. That was a really neat phone call. Thanks, Aunt Jill. And after that phone call, I texted and called people who I felt would be helpful to me. Close family members who I knew would be positive and loving, and I even called friends if they had a child on the spectrum. Then I wanted to talk to them, and I had a lot of questions for them. The second phase I went through was the need to know. I felt, because of safety issues, and I still feel this way, that it's important that neighbors know as well. In our neighborhood, there's lots of houses by us, and Ezra likes to run away. He's really good at escaping, and he can run fast. They are more understanding because they know about his diagnosis. And the third stage was extended family. Now in my family, it just makes sense to tell extended family because we are pretty close. By the time I got to stage 3, I was kind of sick of talking on the phone. And so I sent a bunch of individual text messages. And then I just told my mom to tell all of her family. And that worked. And maybe you don't need to tell all of your extended family right away. But I'm grateful for those positive replies and text messages that I got. I needed to hear that. And with my family, we're so close, it would be impossible for me to keep a diagnosis from them. One time we were at a family reunion and I realized that we couldn't find my son Ezra. I darted out the back door and my brother saw me. He came over and said, just really calmly, missing your kid? I was like, yep. And he's like, I'll take the back, you take the front. And he went in the back. I was just calm and he just ran out in the back, calling Ezra's name, trying to find him. So I went in the front and I went all the way to the road because Ezra likes to go in places that are really open, like, you know, middle of busy roads and things like that. So I went in the middle of the road and We were looking for a few minutes, and then I hear my dad calling out from the front door saying, "Hey, Holly, don't worry, we found him." And when I came back in the house, I was really grateful. I realized so many of my family members went around the house and went outside to try and find Ezra. It was a group effort, and no one said anything mean like, "Oh, you can't keep track of your child." There was no judgment. You'll know who will be the helpful people and who will be the positive supporters in your life. Then I went to the last phase, which is at the phase I'm at, which I tell every single person. Even if they don't ask, I just tell them, "Oh, my son's autistic." I know I'm super extroverted. You don't have to be like me. But that's the way I am because I like bringing it up. I like educating people. I want them to see the good in autism because I don't want it to be this super scary thing, "Oh, hush, hush, we can't talk about." A lot of times when I tell people that I have an autistic son, I'll get this reaction, "Oh no." And I know they're trying to be nice, but I am not ashamed of his autism. Ezra is autistic, but he's also a lot of other things too. And so I try to share those with people as well. He also loves hiking. We go in an RV to travel to all the national parks, and he loves going on those hikes. He loves to just go outside and connect with nature. If you're going to tell people, you decide you're going to tell some people, I strongly recommend to talk to the helpful people first, because most likely some people will have negative reactions. Some people won't believe you. Some people will tell you that you're crazy. Some people might tell you that you're just a bad parent and the doctors are wrong. Sorry. I hope that doesn't happen. Don't believe them. They're stupid. Some people will just feel sorry for you and will have this pity party. But you can't stay in a pity party for too long. You gotta get out of it. And once you do, then you can see the beauty that is autism. We can share without any shame and any tantrums that didn't make any sense. I'm very grateful that I have loving neighbors that most of the time don't judge me. At least I don't think so. Actually, I don't really know. But they're nice to my face. Okay. Then are we really sharing autism awareness or more like autism be-awareness? Like stay away from these people. Would it normalize autism? How much do I say about this? I literally have a thing that's bugging me so bad. I want to cut all my hair off. I just want to shave my head sometimes because my hair is so annoying. It wouldn't look very good bald, but you know. I could probably pull it off, actually. So every time I go to the grocery store and I explain to the lady behind me that my child's autistic, she wouldn't go, "Oh." Maybe that would happen less. Whenever I mention that I have an autistic son, my goal is to leave that person jealous that they don't. I'd love for you to meet Ezra and the rest of the family. I made an autism playlist on the left where you can see our family travel vlog. And the video on the right is 7 ways to help my autistic child communicate. And remember, if you have an autistic child, you're in good company.